Good afternoon. This is Joe Krutzinger with our monthly recalibration of all TSWs report. This is a monthly posting of updated settings for both TradeStation and NinjaTrader. Also, this month we're going to have new settings for a new model real-time account, the 1-minute NASDAQ on the Razor. Let's get started. This PDF is available. You can email me at joecrud@gmail.com or go to etrackrecords.com and look under the blog, and you'll be able to click a tab and get the PDF of this presentation. All strategies illustrated here are historical simulations. If I do have a real-time report, I will put a separate disclaimer there and bring it to your attention. First thing is to show a couple of concepts. First of all, here's a system that I tuned on June 23rd of 2013, and the settings have not been changed. This is a blind walk forward simulation of that system, and you can see that on March 21st of 2016, where it broke the trend line, the system broke. And this is the idea of following the equity curve either with the switcher that I provide electronically or with just a trend line on your equity curve. And if a system fails, then get away from that system and watch it on paper until it turns again, because systems go in and out of cycle just as markets do. It's interesting, March 21st, 2016 is about when Mr. Trump entered into serious contention for the Republican nomination. Now these are the settings, and of course you can get the TSWs from me. I'll be glad to get on your machine and install them free of charge using TeamViewer, or you can download them from the JK Records private membership site, or you can just pull up your old workspace and put in the new input values, which I have here for this is all the shapes. It shows you the original shapes that I just showed you the equity curve of that haven't changed. And then it shows you the new settings for this month for all the rest of the shapes. Here's the new settings for Razor. I want to bring your attention to two things. First of all, the old real-time model was using the mini Dow 5-minute chart, and what we used to do with the Razor on the mini Dow. I'm switching to the NASDAQ on a 1-minute chart. This will be our new real model. That's the one with the green heading, and it uses a $130 stop, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. I think that this is going to be well, we'll talk about it more, but I'll show you how I think that this is going to be a very good decision for me and for anyone else who wants to trade the NASDAQ. Here's the new Razor with ribbon settings. This includes the new Russell at the Chicago Mercantile, and we still include the old Russell for those of you who want to trade the bigger contract. And here's the last of the settings. This is the bar none settings, and again it also includes the Russell contract, at the new one at the Chicago Exchange. Here's the blind walk forward for this month, and again we're in a drawdown, and we've talked about this and how to watch. If you notice, the NASDAQ in Razor with ribbons, in Razor, and in shapes, all three made money. It's the only thing that really made any money this month, and that's one of the reasons I want to focus on the NASDAQ. I've looked at it for the last 3 months, and I think the NASDAQ is where we want to be with our systems. We're just where we kind of get in there, get our profit or loss, and get out. I think the NASDAQ is the most appropriate. And here's the blind walk forward for the Joe's Best group and for the Bar None group. And again, I think the NASDAQ has got to be your focus here. Just as I told you before, this is a real-time record, so I have a different disclaimer for it, and I want you to appreciate the fact that this particular record is a real account that I've done in automated trading in one of my IRA accounts. Now, it's a good time to switch for a couple reasons. First of all, we've got a full 7 months. This is from basically the first day of April through the last day of October. Today's November 1st. I put it down November 1st, but there's no trading today in it because I'm making the switch. There's 100 full trades under our belt. 49% have been profitable. We made $1.36 for every dollar we've lost. That's a 59% annualized return on a day trading count with slippage and commission, and we're in the market less than 4% of the time. I'm proud of it. I think it's great, but let me show you why I'm switching. I've said many times before that my ideal system is one that either makes money or doesn't lose. And this is basically an example of that. We made some darn good money. We went a little over $3,000 from zero line in about 30 trades. And in these last 70 trades, we've just been going sideways. Deterioration with commission and slippage, we deteriorate it down. My feeling is, even though it's up 59% for the year, I'd like to do better ending this year, so I'm going to try to get to November, December to close out a little better by making a switch. I'm going to use the same system, but I'm going to go to the symbol, which I think is the most dynamic with my stuff, which is the mini NASDAQ. Now this is the research that led me to that. Here is our last blind walk forward, and you can see we're in drawdown, and the switcher was red most of the time, and you're just standing on the side. But if you look at the NASDAQ, Shapes, Razor, Ribbons, Joe's Best, all 4 out of 5 made money, and it's really the only bright spot on that chart. So NASDAQ's where I am. If you look the last couple of months' videos, it's the same thing. The NASDAQ and the YM have been the best ones. So I'm going to switch to the NASDAQ on the Razor, and I'll show you the simulation on what I'm going to be doing. First of all, let's look at the equity curve. This equity curve analysis, of course, a perfect equity curve would be a straight 45-degree line that was all green. This isn't that way, but it's pretty decent. It makes some money, goes flat, makes some money, goes flat, and it's making money currently. Over to the right is the per week gain or loss in the number of trades. You can see it does trade 4 or 5 times a week, so just about every day. There's 3 losing weeks in this track record, a $4.45 week losing, a $3.95, and a $40 losing. The bottom figure is what if you would have started on that certain date. For instance, if you would have started on September the 10th, you'd be up $3,630. If you started on July the 30th, you'd be up $57.20. That's how you read that. It shows you the cumulative number of trades, the percent profitable, and then the profit factor for that group of trades. Now this is the column view of the simulated record, so you can see both the longs and the shorts. You can see obviously we've had an uptrend, and it does pick the long, so it is a trend following type system. 52% of the trades have been correct. The daddy go to town number is $96.95, so for every trade, whether it's winner or loser, on average you made $96.95. Average bars in winning trades is 135 minutes, a couple hours, a little more. Average bars in losing trades is 31 minutes, 0.68, so just about a half hour, a little more. Annual rate of return is 300%. That's a little better than our 59%, so that's what I'm looking for. And the drawdown, trade close to trade close, is only 560. So it's got the things I like. It's got a low drawdown. It's got a high daddy go to town number. It's got a pretty darn good return on account as far as annual rate of return. Over to the right, you have the actual settings. On the 1-minute chart, it has only a $130 stop, so you're trading almost $120,000 worth of stock with a $130 stop loss. That's pretty dynamic. This also shows a $5 round turn commission and a $10 round turn slip on every trade, and that's been taken into account on that simulation to the left. Now we're going to go to the Ninja settings, and for those of you who have TradeStation, the best thing to get out of this is if you like shapes, Ninja does have a feature that lets you test the best bar interval. On the Shapes E-mini, it's a 1-minute bar. It shows making about $2,400 in this 3-month period, and it shows 93%, which is one of the highest percent rights we've ever seen as far as on a simulation. Let's take a look. So here's the ES settings, and showing a 387.50 stop loss is a little bigger than we usually like to do. A 1-minute bar, and it shows you the get out time is 14:25, and the rest of the settings for shapes. Next up is the FDAX. It's a 43-minute bar showing $6,500 and $821 drawdown, 65% right. Daddy go to town number of 7741. There's the FDAX settings. You can see it has a $270 stop loss. Once you make $180, it risks 20% of the profit, and that's that. Here's U.S. bonds. U.S. bonds have been kind of weak as far as my systems, for about the 6 months level. So for the kind of risk you take, there's 31.25 a tick, and the average trade size is $31. So I'd kind of stay away from it. But this is the best settings that I could come up with. It's a 39-minute bar on the U.S. bonds. And again, fairly big stop, 656 and a quarter, and a little jagged equity curve. So again, I'm not particularly fond of the bonds, but the best I could find is the 39-minute bar on U.S. bonds. Here's NASDAQ using shapes, making $3,500, 61% correct. Daddy go to town numbers $41.39, and looks pretty good. Drawdown's 1,035, which is a little high for a $3,500 item. Here's the settings for the NASDAQ 47-minute. This is that same chart that we saw. It started out with a pretty good sized drawdown, had the $1,000 drawdown right at the get-go, and then the rest of the curve has been pretty decent. Here's shapes on the mini Dow 41-minute, and again, the average trade size, Daddy go to town, is only $13. I'd stay away from anything that small and just go to a different market, which is obviously what I'm doing in real time. And here's the settings with the stop for the 41-minute bar mini Dow. My main products are ideas, service, and support when you need it. All you need to do is go to etrackrecords.com, go to the support tab, follow the instructions, send me a TeamViewer code. I'll be glad to get on your machine. If you don't have one of my systems, I'll be glad to put it on for free for 14 days. Make sure it works well for you on a TradeStation machine. If you already a client, you just want the new TSWs, let me know and I'll be glad to put them on your machine and make sure you have a perfect copy, an exact duplicate of what I have. Well, that's it. These monthly recalibrations are a little longer, and I hope you find them useful. They do take a lot of time, and again, if you want a red ribbon trial, use TeamViewer and I'll get on your machine and install it for free. You have a blind walk forward test with 3-month back test for razor with ribbon, shapes, and or bar none. Well, good luck and great trading. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.